Why are people so obsessed with 6-speed manual transmission FJ cruisers? Hey there everyone, welcome to FJX 2000 Productions and another episode of Let's FJ. My name is Hayden, and today I want to dive into a discussion about Toyota FJ cruisers offered with manual transmissions. I will be sharing everything you'd want to know about them and hopefully explain why folks in the FJ community absolutely love them. As always, if you enjoy the video, be sure to like it and subscribe to be in the loop when future FJ Cruiser related content is released. Thank you all for your support, and if you happen to have a manual FJ, let me know in the comments below how you like it. As a quick note, I personally don't own a manual FJ, and I've actually never driven one myself, but I will provide you all with solid facts and information from either Toyota directly or people who have first-hand experience with these awesome vehicles. So with that out of the way, let's get started. Toyota released the FJ Cruiser back in 2006 as the 2007 model year, and though the original concepts for the FJ were always shown with automatic transmissions, upon the FJ Cruiser's release, it was offered with either Toyota's A750 5-speed automatic or RA61F 6-speed manual transmission. According to those who study used FJ sales in North America, typically around 8% of FJs for sale at any given time are manual transmission models, so it has been speculated that 10% or 1 out of every 10 FJs built were probably manuals, as Toyota probably likes nice round numbers. But some markets outside of North America never offered manual transmission FJs and only had automatics. Yet it is still worthy to note that other countries like Japan, Australia, or South Africa had right-hand drive variations of the automatic transmission. The most obvious difference between automatic and manual transmissions on FJ Cruisers is the addition of a 6th gear for manuals. This additional gear is great as it allows for more flexibility when shifting and gives the driver more options both on and off-road. The real difference in transmission gears, though, is how the gear ratios differ between autos and manuals. Here is a table showing the various gear ratios, and what is most notable is how the first gear for manual transmission is 4.171 to 1, meaning for every 4.171 rotations of the crankshaft in the engine, the actual drive shaft to the axles only spins once, allowing for lower crawling speeds and higher torque than the 3.52 to 1 ratio of the automatic first gear. This lower first gear isn't only noticeable when off-roading, it also makes for better acceleration, giving the FJ a more sporty feel on-road and leading to owners of manuals absolutely falling in love with driving their FJ. Though it isn't directly transmission related, it is worthy to note that all manual transmission FJs are equipped with Torsen limited slip center differentials, meaning they are full-time 4-wheel drive, as opposed to automatic transmission FJs, which are either part-time 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive only. In normal driving conditions, the power split for manual transmission FJs with their Torsen center diff is 40-60, meaning 40% of the power goes to the front axle and 60% to the rear. This power distribution varies as needed based off of the steering angle and wheel slippage, so binding doesn't occur while they drive normally. But with the use of the 4-wheel drive control lever, this power can be locked 50-50 for actual off-roading in both high and low range. Also, the front and rear differential gear ratios vary between autos and manuals. Autos have 3.727 to 1 diff gears, and manuals have 3.909 to 1 gear ratios, meaning the manual FJs are actually better suited for aftermarket wheel and tire size upgrades, as the higher gear ratio makes turning bigger tires easier. And once again, if we look at the off-roading capabilities of the FJ, one measure of a 4x4 vehicle's capabilities is their crawl ratio, a measurement made by multiplying the lowest gear ratio by the transfer case ratio and then the differential ratio. Generally, the higher the crawl ratio number, the more control a vehicle has when rock crawling, as it can traverse rocks slower and with more control. The crawl ratio for automatic FJs is 33.76 to 1, while manuals are 41.84 to 1, almost a 25% improvement in crawl ratio. Manual transmission FJ Cruisers in the used FJ market are a bit of a novelty since as the years go on, less and less new manual transmission vehicles are offered. They are mechanically less complicated than an automatic transmission, and when they were new, the manual FJs cost less than their auto counterparts. However, in the used car market, prices for certain manual FJs are exceeding those of comparable automatic FJs. This isn't always the case, as the market for manual FJs is narrower, with less and less drivers knowing how to drive them. But to the right buyer, waiting for the right model with a desirable manual transmission can be worth it, especially if they are seeking after a manual for its benefits in off-roading. Now, while we have talked a lot about the benefits of manual transmissions, there are some downsides to them as well. Problematic maintenance issues people have with manuals include certain parts of the manual transmission wearing out, such as the clutch or throwout bearing. Also, due to the nature of manual transmissions not being able to shift as efficiently as automatics, and the higher gearing in the diffs and other gearing, they are about 1 to 2 miles per gallon less efficient than the automatics. And for people who like their FJs to come with every feature possible, for 2013 and up model years, Toyota offered an additional off-road aid called crawl control as an option. But if your dream was to have crawl control paired with your manual transmission, this unfortunately isn't a possibility, as manual FJs could not be equipped with crawl control. So this means even the most coveted special edition model produced, the 2014 Trail Teams Ultimate Edition, can only come equipped with crawl control if it is an automatic transmission model. Manual transmission FJs will also be more difficult to drive in certain daily driving situations like heavy traffic, and even slow speed ascents when rock crawling can be extremely difficult, and many drivers kill the engine unintentionally in these situations. Luckily, Toyota knew this would be a possibility and included a clutch start cancel switch, which I discuss in my FJ Cruiser buttons and switches video. But it essentially allows the manual FJ to be started in first gear without depressing the clutch, to allow for quick starts on steep hills if the engine has died. And though the manual transmission FJs can't come with crawl control, Toyota Racing Development, or TRD, offered a specific FJ Cruiser quick shifter upgrade for manuals that decreases shift throws by 30% to allow for a more sporty and precise shifting experience. Plus, there is also an optional TRD shift knob, which looks great and pairs nicely with the quick shifter. So with all that information, we are ultimately faced with the question, why are 6-speed manual transmission, or 6MT FJ Cruisers, so popular? It probably stems from the idea that manual transmission vehicles are always looked at as a bit more elite or exclusive as vehicles in general, as driving them is more technical and involved, requiring more skill than the average driver, especially when it comes to off-roading. Plus, with only 10% of FJs being manual, it again makes these owners feel like they are part of an exclusive club, which is something they absolutely love. And with some of the favorable features of manual transmissions that we discussed, like full-time four-wheel drive, improved gear ratios, and the sportier feel when driving, making the overall experience more fun, I believe it gives owners the feeling that they got the better end of the deal over automatic FJs. But what about the fact that it seems like they mention having a 6MT every chance they get? Well, there are certain mechanical questions where knowing which transmission type their FJ has can be relevant, so it makes sense that they would mention it then. But at the end of the day, I think you're still left with a good chunk of people in the FJ Cruiser community who feel cooler than the rest of us and love to flaunt the fact that they have a 6MT any chance they get. Good for them. I know for me, I'm happy with my automatic transmission FJ Cruiser, but hopefully if you have a manual FJ, you enjoyed this video. Or if you're in the market for an FJ and wanted to learn more about manual transmission models and what makes them unique, hopefully this video helped you out. Let me know in the comments if you have a 6MT FJ or what your thoughts about them are. I'd love to hear them. But thanks again for watching, please consider liking and subscribing, and until next time, take care.